Hello everyone and welcome back to Shri FC. I hope you all are well and you are good. I think it's time now to discuss our match against Nottingham Forest, a 2-2 draw, another drop points, another massive drop points, and that is the way our season has been going. It's been an absolutely turmoil season. We don't even know when the next win comes. This is why I celebrated the last match against Bournemouth so much because it's so rare we win this season. It's so rare. Every time there's some good hope, there's something always bad on the horizon, and this is one of them. Again, we again drew a game at home, but this was one of better performances. And again, still Super Frank Lampard has no win at Stamford Bridge since his return as an interim manager. There was a lot of positives in terms of performances, but there was still a lot of negatives which outpower the positives. And again, as always, Chelsea let us down. They let the fans down again. And again, I do think the players tried, but again, it only shows we are just not good enough. A massive, massive drop points. And in terms of we could just end the season well, we can go on 2 victories in a row. We can't even beat Nottingham Forest, the worst away team. It's disappointment, but that's the way season goes. In this video, I'll discuss on the post-match, some positives in this match, especially Raheem Sterling, who was really, really good in this game. I also want to talk about Ruben Loftus-Cheek, who was very good in this game. And along with that, we'll also discuss on some negatives as well. And I'll get into it later in the video, brother. I think he was given a chance so that the next manager can assess some players. I really think that Pochettino had a say in this. I know people won't agree, but I think Pochettino might have had a say in this. And I think that Mendy was played to assess the options next season. And again, Mendy has only shown us that why he does not deserve to play. Is so sad, man. I used to love Mendy, but he's so out of confidence. And Kepa Arrizabalaga is just not a good keeper. The match, again, as always, it started with a bit of momentum. The team came with a bit of fire, but it just wasn't good enough. And after around 10-minute mark, it was Nottingham Forest with the possession. They were looking the better attacking team, and they got a goal through an absolute howler by Edward Mendy. What the heck is he thinking? What the shite was that? What the shite was that by Edward Mendy? That was ridiculous goalkeeping. One of the worst errors I've seen Edward Mendy make. I used to praise Edward Mendy on this stream that is still a better cross collector than Kepa Arrizabalaga. He's better in controlling headers coming into the box. He's a better shot stopper. And that was an embarrassment by Edward Mendy. He should be embarrassed of himself for this mistake. What the heck is he doing there? And that was a very poor goal to concede. The team already went into backwards. Then we bounced back. We had some chances. We started playing well. We woke up, but again, we had no structure. There was no midfield. And again, Nottingham Forest was easily able to survive that. And after that, in second half, there was a good chance for Nottingham Forest to lead 2-0. Felipe had a chance and they missed it. After that, very good cross by Trevor Chalobah, who is really playing well in this right back position. He has been superb, Trevor Chalobah. Very good cross. Raheem Sterling puts it into the net with a deflection. And after that, there was a certain atmosphere at Stamford Bridge. Everybody was happy. And Raheem Sterling scored an absolute beauty. That is what we bought Raheem Sterling for. This is what Raheem Sterling is capable of. That was a very, very good run, good counter attack. Ruben Loftus-Cheek came on, and I think Ruben Loftus-Cheek did much better than Kovacic did in the whole 35 minutes. Loftus-Cheek in 10 minutes only looked better than Kovacic, and in the second half, Loftus-Cheek showed why he should be starting right now over Kovacic, because Kovacic sadly is not playing for the shirt. Loftus-Cheek came, did well. Raheem Sterling scored a beautiful goal, and after that, Raheem Sterling was very good in the game. Whatever we were trying to do was coming through Raheem Sterling. He was the only player which was taking Nottingham Forest players with him and suddenly dribbling past them. It was so good to watch. And as always, Chelsea cannot give their fans a bit of happiness. We concede an absolutely poor goal. What the heck is Thiago Silva doing? What is Badiashile doing? Are they not aware of the person behind them? That was just ridiculously bad. That was schoolboy defending from our experienced players in Thiago Silva. And Badiashile, who's a young player, should be more understanding that Evino is behind him. And we made Awoniyi look like the next Olivier Giroud, and an embarrassment, and they got it 2-2. After that, we had some chances, but the match was done. And after that, it was very difficult to score. Nottingham Forest stayed, and they got a much important point in the relegation fight. But as always, we might have nothing to play for, but that was very, very important match in terms of building the momentum, taking some positives. And again, Chelsea takes a sting out of it. And even ever since the substitution against Liverpool in Carabao Cup final, Mendy hasn't been the same. He hasn't been the same this whole season, but I don't think it's just that. I think that was a good run. Mendy is still a fine keeper. I think he's done with confidence for me, brother. Doreen, brother, he's done with confidence. I think Mendy's confidence is down. He's still a very good cross collector. He's a good shot stopper, but I think his confidence is down in the gutter right now. Kepa Arrizabalaga is just not a good goalkeeper. Slonina is just very young. And I think Chelsea will have to go for a good goalkeeper in the summer who can sweep and also be like Mendy in terms of saving, but a much better and at least on confidence. And David Raya, I think, or Onana make a lot of sense right now. Actually, I was very disappointed with Kovacic. I used to love him, but ever since the World Cup return, he seems so unbothered. Fully agreed with Rinbai. Kovacic has seemed unbothered for a very, very long time. Kovacic has again in the 35 minutes he played. He did not attempt even one forward pass. It was a disgrace. He has been putting in disgraceful performances since the World Cup and he has to be dropped. And Frank Lampard needs to be hard with the senior players. Play the likes of Chukwemeka, play the likes of Lewis Hall, play the likes of your Mudryk and get these senior players out who don't want to be bothered for the shirt. Kovacic was again an embarrassment and hopefully recovers from the injury. I wish him well. But in terms of performance, he was again absolute garbage and he has been garbage since the World Cup. A big disappointment for a player that I used to really rep, a player I used to love and think that he deserves a bit more praise. But I've always said that Kovacic is a limited player and right now the guy does not even seem bothered and it's better we part ways with him. Let him go to City, Bayern, whatever, and we can go on, get players like Lavia, get some good guys who want to play for the club and build for the future. Thanks for the service, Kovacic. We all love you. But right now, you don't even look bothered for the shirt, which is very disappointing. Starting off with the first topic, we need a new goalkeeper. And I've been saying this on my channel for a long time. People have been saying Kepa has been bad. And I've been telling them, is Mendy really way better than Kepa? But then many people have been saying Mendy is bad, play Kepa. And I've been telling people that Kepa Arrizabalaga is just a disaster. We are right now a disastrous team when it comes to goalkeepers. Edward Mendy right now used to be a very, very good shot stopper, used to be a person you used to rely upon corner kicks, set pieces, crosses. He used to be so assertive that whenever the cross is coming into the box, Mendy is there, boom, he clears it. Mendy used to be a very good catcher of the ball, and in this season, he has made a howler against Leeds in terms of sweeping keeping, and now he makes a howler in terms of things that I expect him to do better. Very poor by Edward Mendy. You expect much better from a player of his quality, from a player of his caliber. He's much better than that. And I think he's short in confidence. He's broken right now. And either in the preseason, the new manager gets his confidence back, or other than that, I think sadly we have to part ways with Edward Mendy. And on the other hand, we have Kepa Arrizabalaga, who is better on feet than Edward Mendy, but he's a poor shot stopper. Any long shot into the Chelsea net is unsavable for him. And Kepa Arrizabalaga overall cannot claim crosses. And today, one thing Mendy used to excel on, he failed. One thing he used to do well, he miserably failed. And we are in a tough situation. We need to go for a new goalkeeper. I think David Raya or Onana make a lot of sense. If Lukaku wants to go back to Inter, we can get Onana or even pay the money for him or get a player like David Raya. We need a goalkeeper who is good at his feet but also can make the basic saves and can clear on the corner kicks and crosses into the box. Kepa Arrizabalaga is a good keeper from his feet, but he's a disastrous keeper from the corner kicks, from set pieces, from crosses, and a half-decent shot stopper. Edward Mendy is a very good shot stopper. He's a good cross claimer, but right now he's short on confidence, and he's an absolutely disastrous goalkeeper when it comes to sweeping keeping. And I think we are in a big turmoil. We need a new goalkeeper. Love to Edward Mendy for the Champions League, but we have to move forward. And Kepa Arrizabalaga is even worse than Mendy for me, and we have to move forward. And I actually like Kepa. Koval as a new goalkeeper, sorry. Onana, I don't want to consider the attitude and ego. I do understand that part, and this is why I want to go with David Raya. He's a good guy, a young guy in terms of goalkeeping, and he can do a very good job. David Raya is very, very good with his feet. I will consider him near to Onana or even better. And he's a very good shot stopper as well. And I do like David Raya, and that could be an option we can go with. But Onana as well, if we put the attitude aside, he's a very, very good goalkeeper. We have to be honest with ourselves. And Chelsea need to be honest. We need to go for a new goalkeeper, and we have to even let both the goalkeeper go and bring a Solina as a backup. But the problem with Chelsea is that Kepa is on massive wages, and Kepa cannot be sold. So sadly, Edward Mendy could be the one that will be sold. And until a revival from, you can say, a new manager, from a good preseason, it does look like Edward Mendy's Chelsea career is on his end. It's so sad to see. He was the player we thought that we have solved our goalkeeping issues for 20 million. He was so good for 1.5 years. He was magnificent. What happened to him, nobody knows. Since then, Real Madrid clash, he has gone downwards. His sweeping keeping was disastrous. Now even his cross claiming is disastrous. His shot stopping has become disastrous, and it's so sad to see, man. For a goalkeeper, I used to think has solved Chelsea's crisis. I think Edward Mendy is on downward spiral, and either the new manager has to bring his confidence up, or we have to part ways with him. If you had given a chance, who will you choose, Raya or Sanchez? Raya any day of the week over Sanchez, any day of the week for me. But if anyone has different opinion, do put in the comment section, people. And please do like the stream and please subscribe to the channel if you haven't. It means a lot. Coming to the next topic now, that is Frank Lampard and still no home win. I really feel for Frank, and I think his interim job has not gone really well. One win, one draw, 6 defeats, and still no home victory for Super Frank. Is very disappointing. We have lost to Brentford, we have lost to Brighton, we have drew against Nottingham Forest, and it's been an absolute disappointment. Today was one of better performances under Frank Lampard as an interim manager. Today the guys did play well, the guys did show desire, but again, when we were able to score 2 goals, our defense was on the beach and conceded 2 goals. Our goalkeeper that Frank brought in, which fans wanted to come in, made an absolute blunder. Sometimes we can't just blame the manager, but overall, to be really honest, for the first 30 minutes, we were not a very good coach side. We were not a very tactical side. But I don't blame Super Frank for that. I know Super Frank might not be really top manager, and it's very disappointing as a Chelsea fan. For a player I used to love with still no home victory is very disappointing. Stamford Bridge used to be a fortress. Teams used to shit in their pants when they come to Stamford Bridge. Now everybody wants to come into our ground and play. Everybody wants to come to Stamford Bridge and play Chelsea. This is a big fall from grace, and next season Mauricio Pochettino has to ensure that the pride of Stamford Bridge is back and is again a place that the teams fear. Mikel Arteta has made Emirates fortress. Eric Ten Hag has made Old Trafford a fortress. We have to make Stamford Bridge a fortress. It is a pride. It is a home, and we cannot get embarrassed week in, week out, at our home damn ground. And today we played the worst away team in the league, and we allowed them to score 2 goals against us, which was an absolute shambles. Another shambolic display today, to be honest, defensively. And again, we stay with no victory at home under Super Frank as an interim manager. Today, for me, Frank made a bit of mistake. If you had to bring Mendy in, you should have brought him 1-2 weeks back. Now it did not make sense. We just beat Bournemouth. Bar N'Golo Kante was injured, Frank. Did it even require to change the team, Frank? Really, Frank? I love you, Super Frank. I love you to bits, Super Frank. But we just beat Bournemouth. We won a first game under you, and a proper manager keeps the same team. You should have played Mudrik today. Raheem Sterling played really well, but I'm just making a sense of the starting 11. But overall, I was still fine with Raheem Sterling playing, and he was fantastic today. But other than that, was it really the need overall to bring Felix in? We needed a physical body into the box, and we were attempting cross after cross after cross into the box, and Felix was not able to get to it. You can't really blame him. He's not an aerial person, and we needed Kai Havertz today. Other than that, I will again say I was good to see Lewis Hall, and overall, I cannot blame Frank for much because today the defense was an absolute shambles, and that cannot be blamed on Frank. Edward Mendy again made a blunder that cannot be blamed to Frank, but the question arises, if you had to bring Edward Mendy, why now? When Kepa played well, why now? You could have brought him a week earlier. He still looks unfit, so I really don't know why Frank did that. But other than that, we only have one game remaining at Stamford Bridge, that is Newcastle, and hopefully these players stand up and they give Super Frank one home victory before his interim charge ends. And now, Manchester City and United away. Bad days, bad days. Mendy has struggled a bit during mid-Lampard season, but then when Tuchel arrived, he revived his confidence. Do you think Poch will give him a chance? I think Poch might give him a chance, especially with the goalkeeping situation. And I think if Chelsea are not able to secure a goalkeeper, he will be staying. But we have to remember that Mendy wants a contract equal to Kepa Arrizabalaga, and Chelsea won't do that. And because Kepa is on a massive wage and we cannot sell Kepa, it is very clear, sadly, that for the new goalkeeper to arrive, the old goalkeeper will have to leave, and that could be Edward Mendy. I still think there is a decent keeper in him, and hopefully either Pochettino or some other manager can revive him. And right now, I fully agree, he's absolutely short of confidence. He's fully out of confidence. Even during 15-16, big teams used to fear of playing us at this is beyond embarrassing. Fully agreed. We beat Arsenal at Emirates that season when they were in the so-called title race, the Battle of the Bridge. But this season, everybody wants to play Chelsea, which is sad and disappointing to see. Shrey, you tell me. I think what prime did David Fofana do? I do not understand, brother. I've lost my mind why the guy is not getting chances. Kai Havertz not really good as striker. João Felix not good as a striker. Aubameyang doesn't look bothered. Why don't we give this guy a chance? We are safe from relegation. We are maximum going to finish 12th. Why are we not giving the damn boy a bit of chance? I don't understand. Graham Potter did the same. Frank is doing the same, and it sadly looks like David Fofana will be going for loan next season. Whereas it was a perfect opportunity to see what the guy is made up of, make him ready for Premier League football, and if he's not good enough, we can send him on loan. But again, Chelsea have not given the guy chances, and we still keep going on. Senior players and players who have played for the club for a long time to please them, and they keep on making mistakes which you should not, which is very disappointing to see. Coming on to Raheem Sterling, and Raheem Sterling has been on the back of a lot of criticism of Chelsea fans. He was booed when he came on in the last game, which was a bit sad to see. But Raheem Sterling has again today showed that why he was not one of the disastrous signing. I have been backing Raheem Sterling on this channel. I've criticized him, but I've always said there's a player in him, and a manager like Pochettino, a manager like Nagelsmann, they all will love to have Raheem Sterling overall at Chelsea. And he's still not one of the biggest problems at Chelsea. We have a lot to solve before we keep coming on Raheem Sterling. Raheem Sterling was a Thomas Tuchel signing. He did a very good job on the Thomas Tuchel. And when a club keeps on changing manager after coach, they keep on bringing the dressing room up, bringing more and more players, it was always going to be disastrous. Raheem Sterling is overall a very, very good player. He's still, for me, not a world-class player, but a very, very good player. And today he showed with a proper manager, with a proper structure, with a proper space, he could be a very useful player for Chelsea in the future. Under Pochettino, in a high-pressing system, with the off-the-ball moments, Raheem Sterling could be very crucial to us. Today, he played a really good game. He was, again, very frustrating for the first 40 minutes. He was really, really frustrating. Then in the second half, he was in the right position at the right time, and he slotted into the net and got Chelsea back in the game. And that second goal was an absolute beauty. That was Raheem Sterling trademark goal. Very good goal. A very good job by Loftus-Cheek, and a very good turn by Raheem Sterling, and straight into the net. That was bombastic. That was so good to see. And in the end part of the game as well, Raheem Sterling was threatening. He was again cutting inside. He was causing Nottingham Forest massive trouble. And that was very, very good to see. Raheem Sterling, there's still a very decent player in him. It's just up to the next manager to develop him, to make a right system, to make a right players to play around him. And that's the way Chelsea can succeed. He's still a player who makes the right movements. He's still a player who can finish some chances. He will miss some chances, but he will finish some chances. And he's still a player who brings a bit of, you can say, threat for the opposition. And with a proper structure, with a proper team, if next season we have a proper structure of a team that has a passer that can make passes when the player is making runs, Raheem Sterling can always be a dangerous player. He was never a world-class player. He never will be. But in Manchester City, in a proper system, he used to be threatening. And I think he can do the same at Chelsea. But we need to make a proper system with a proper manager. He's still a fine player and a player we can really use next season with only one match a week, with no Europa League football, Conference League football for us next season. Now going on, the next topic and taking a bit of chat, and we are playing 5.11 player against 6.3. Luis Felipe and spamming cross. You don't expect Felix to do Messi. Absolutely. And this is what I was stunned. Why we did not go with Kai Havertz in this game? This is the thing I really did not agree with Super Frank. And that was which really made me angry today. And you need improvement when Sterling is the best finisher. Fully agreed. And this is the thing I've been saying for a long time. But that's the standard of Chelsea right now. Now on Noni Madueke, again, he in flashes was beautiful to see. Cutting inside, using his right foot. Now, so many left-footed players, they rarely use their right foot. Noni Madueke using his right foot is very, very good to see. He again dribbled past 2 players, 3 players, 4 players, and again a very, very beautiful player to watch. But again, as I've been telling on this channel for the last 2 weeks, we have to give these young guys time. They are so good to watch, but they still are very, very raw. Today, Noni Madueke made some errors. Defensively, he was not in the right position. He wasn't tracking back a lot of time. Noni Madueke today, again, attackingly had so many passing options and choose the wrong option. And this is where, with a manager like Pochettino, who can train him on the training ground, who can advise him with more time and patience, We have got a very talented kid on our roster, and Madueke is going to be a massive player for Chelsea in the future, and he will do a massive job for Chelsea Football Club in the future. But also, he's still very young. He's going to make some error. He's really going to make some people angry at some point, and we have to improve these things if we have to keep moving forward. Going on, the next one, that is can't defend crosses, and it's becoming a bit of concern now. We used to be a good team in handling crosses under Thomas Tuchel earlier reign, but since then we have become disastrous in handling crosses. Thiago Silva, Shelley are both good in height. They are both really good. But today again, Thiago Silva was outdone. Shelley was outdone. They weren't in right positions. And for the first goal, when Kepa Arrizabalaga plays, we always concede from crosses. And today, from a goalkeeper who is supposedly considered a very good goalkeeper from crosses, made a blunder. And the second goal, what the heck is Thiago Silva and Shelley doing? Are they not aware of Awoniyi behind them? Very awful. And we made Awoniyi look like Olivier Giroud, and that was very difficult to see. Again, we could not defend crosses. Again, we could not contain a team that puts long ball into the box, and that was again very, very disappointing to see. And again showed that Chelsea have one positive, we always have one negative. Raheem Sterling was a positive, defense was a negative. That's the way our season has been going. And again today, against one of the worst away team in the league, we conceded 2 goals and we could not even beat them. It's sad, but this season it looks like Chelsea is going to break every record in the bad way, and that's the way it's continuing. Coming on to the next one, that is N'Golo Kante injury concern. Just before the game started, Frank Lampard informed the press that N'Golo Kante suffered an injury. He could be out for 2 weeks, which is a massive disappointment, and also raises a concern that can we rely on N'Golo Kante as a first-teamer player next season. First of all, everybody on this stream knows I love N'Golo Kante. I love N'Golo Kante to bits, but everybody on this stream knows I've been telling for a long time that with Kovacic, we have to sell Kovacic this summer. Kante, it cannot be fully fit. We do not need to sign just one midfielder. Chelsea need to sign 2 midfielders. And N'Golo Kante, I love him to bits. He's such a good professional. He gives everything for the shirt. Since he has come back, he has played well. He's slowly getting to match fitness. He helps the team play in the pressing game. He's still very good in defensive awareness. He's still everywhere around the pitch. But N'Golo Kante will never be the N'Golo Kante we had 5 years back. His body is still not as strong as he used to be. Injuries are only going to come up. And we cannot play N'Golo Kante week in, week out, week in, week out. And we need to sign a midfielder so we can put Kante in some matches and we can rest him in some matches. He has come back from surgery, but it doesn't mean that he's going to be fit forever. And N'Golo Kante injuries are always going to be part of it. Now, I will keep N'Golo Kante next season, but on 300, 330k, that is too much. That is too much for me. But overall, on a more bonus type wages, I will do keep him because I do want Martin Kovacic to go. Jorginho has gone, and all the experience in this Chelsea team has gone. And to guide players like Enzo Fernandez, to guide players like Romeo Lavia, we need N'Golo Kante. So for this reason, I will keep N'Golo Kante, especially over Kovacic. But N'Golo Kante injury concerns are a problem, and we need to at least sign a midfielder or at least develop a midfielder so that we can next season rest Kante, play Kante, rest Kante, play Kante, because he cannot play a lot of games in a row. He had a very good game against Bournemouth, but again the injury comes back and is very, very disappointing to see. Mendy, Silva, Shelley, Chalobah, Loftus-Cheek all are damn tall. How can 2 defenders get bodied by single forwards? Annoying. Fully agreed, brother, and it's very disappointing to see. We made Awoniyi look like one of the best strikers in the world, and that was sad sight. Chelsea can make right now even Neil Maupay look like a top striker, and that is sad to see. But N'Golo Kante, first of all, I fully hope that he returns back to fitness and is fully fit. But overall, it's a bit of concern that again he played 3 or 4 games in a row. He's injured. Can we rely on next season? That's a massive, massive if. Coming on to the next one, Joao Felix. And again, Joao Felix was bright. Whenever he had the ball, he looked very good. Again, at some pass, it was good. But again, there was no end product. Now, I cannot blame him fully because we aren't a crossing team. He's not a player that is going to hit headers. Why the shite we are putting crosses into the box? Why? एंड तुम्हारी स्ट्रीम में सिर्फ की वॉचिंग है, इससे अच्छा वीडियो बनाते थे. नो प्रॉब्लम ब्रदर, आई विल कीप on continuing whether it's 1 people, 0 people. I'll keep on making videos. So Felix for me was very bright in this game. He really looked good at certain pass. He was drawing foul after foul after foul from Nottingham Forest players, and he had a bit of shit house training, which was very, very good to see, which was enjoyable to see at some point. But again, I was a bit angry at Joao Felix. Why, bro? Why, bro? You got a red card against Fulham. You're on loan here. Every time we are paying wages to you, and you're trying to do that. And again, he just did not have an end product. That was a bit of disappointing part. Again, I do not blame him fully because we were trying to put crosses into the box, and João Felix is not an Olivier Giroud. But other than that, he also at some points could have done better. And again, João Felix's story at Chelsea has been he tries to dribble past 2 players, 3 players, 4 players, and the ball is taken up and it takes too much time for a decision. And Felix showing his inner dog, fully agreed. And I love that, Darren, brother. I fully love that. But I will only say one thing. Why are you doing that now? Why are you doing that when you already got a red card this season? That could have been dangerous, bro. That could have been dangerous. Referee could have given him the red card, and we might not even have a draw in this game. And João Felix would have been suspended for the rest of the season, and the loan spell would have finished. So he has to do better. His end product is still lacking. And do I want to sign him permanently? Nah. I think with Nkunku coming up, Havertz is there. I think we have too much to solve to sign João Felix for 80 million. But I will only say one thing. There is a lot of talent in this guy. There is a lot of ability in this guy. And he can go on to some other club with a proper structure, with a proper striker, and can do well. So I do think there's a fantastic player in him who can play really well with a proper striker like a Ivan Toney, like a Osimhen. But I don't think that's going to happen at Chelsea. So hopefully he has a good career ahead. And if you sign him, I'll support him. And he has to improve his end product. Going on to the next one now, topic, that is Ruben Loftus-Cheek. Now, many people have been criticizing Ruben Loftus-Cheek this season. Many people want him sold. And I do understand why. Because Chelsea have to move on. And Ruben Loftus-Cheek is still not at the quality that Chelsea Football Club need. But again, today when he came on, he looked really well in the pivot formation with Enzo Fernandez. And Loftus-Cheek played really well in this formation. He was bringing the ball from the back. He looked like the Kovacic we saw under Maurizio Sarri, driving with the ball, keeping the ball. And him and Raheem Sterling have a very, very, very good understanding. And that was very enjoyable to see. And Loftus-Cheek overall for me can always be a very, very good squad player. Again, Loftus-Cheek for me did very good job. And defensively, he was solid. Attackingly, not really good, but made an important pass for Raheem Sterling. And still a player who always had ability. A player I always love. My first and my most loved Chelsea youth player. And it's been a bit disappointing with injuries for him. But on his day, with the physicality, with the aerial ability, with the way he drives with the ball, I think there's still a good player in Loftus-Cheek. But I just don't think he's a starter for Chelsea. But I do believe he can be a very, very good backup next season. And he's still a player with a proper fitness under Pochettino, can do a very, very good job for Chelsea. And today, he did a fantastic job. He played a wonderful game for me today. And I'm going to say one thing. Mateo Kovacic does not seem bothered for Chelsea Football Club. He does not even give a damn under Chelsea Football Club right now. So why don't you play Loftus-Cheek for the end of the season? Just let Kovacic go to Bayern Munich, Manchester City, wherever he wants to go. Let's play players that care for the badge. And today, Loftus-Cheek put a very good shift in for Chelsea Football Club. Chelsea failing, selling, I do agree. I fully agree, brother. Chelsea are failing a lot of players. We are an absolute turmoil team. And I think this season, we have failed a lot of players. When the manager keeps on changing, you sign 20-odd players. It was always going to be disaster, Baga, brother. And big up to you. Great win against Newcastle. And wishing you the best for tomorrow's game, brother. And thanks for the support. Kovacic should know we made him today the player. Is fully agreed. Chelsea have backed him to the core. He was not being used at Real Madrid. And I think Darren, brother, if we can say for 30 million, he has been a good player for Chelsea. But there always comes a time when you have to let a player go. And Kovacic right now does not seem bothered. Chelsea need a new midfielder who can create, who can be much better than Kovacic. So I think it's better we let him go. And it's better for Chelsea as well that we can move on. I do think Paul Pogba played well. But I think it's just with Paul Pogba for me, Bhagar, brother. It's just attitude issues with him. He's still a top quality midfielder, but it's just an attitude for me, brother, about him. And one point, Loftus-Cheek was England Pogba. I agree. At one point, he was when he was playing under Maurizio Sarri. But that injury happened in a friendly. I just want to talk about that friendly that we arranged. And after that, he has just not been the player we know. He was injured. He was out for a year and a half. And it was always bound to be a disaster. Now coming on to player ratings, people. Please, people watching, do hit the like button, man. It helps a lot. Doesn't take much. And please subscribe to the channel if you haven't, man. Mean a lot. Please do it, people. Whether 4 people watching, whether 1 people watching, whether 0 watching, I'll keep doing what I love. Whether you like it, whether you don't like it, I will keep doing what I really love. And Kovacic to Bayern will be perfect for all the parties. Fully agreed. That will be very good for all the parties. And if you can get some amount on that, a good amount, 15-20 million, that will be fantastic. And now Edward Mendy, that was a horrific howler. That was a horrific howler for Edward Mendy, and he deserves nothing more than 3. That is a howler I cannot forgive him for, and that was an awful, awful howler for Edward Mendy. And fully agreed, Edward Mendy has to be 3 and 4. He was absolutely shite today with the error. He put the team behind already. And for a keeper, I've always rated his cross-claiming ability very highly. That was very poor to see. That was very, very, very poor to see. And that only compounds the trouble that Chelsea just don't have a goalkeeper right now. One goalkeeper is good at his feet, but he cannot do anything when it comes to stopping, cross-claiming. And other keeper is just shite of confidence and then cannot do simple passes as well. And that is so sad to see, man. And this only reminds that Chelsea need to sign a proper goalkeeper who is coming in with a good confidence as well to move forward as a football club if you want to get top for next season. Coming on to the next player now, that is Trevoh Chalobah, and for me, one of the best players for Chelsea on the pitch. He was marvellous. He was marvellous in this right back role. Trevoh Chalobah has been a player invented. He has been awesome. Awesome. I've been telling it for a long time. I love Cesar Azpilicueta, but right now, Cesar is just not good enough. And Trevoh Chalobah has come in, and in 2 games, he has played so well. He has been defensively solid. He has been attackingly solid. He has really driven with the ball well. He has fought for the badge. He has fought for the Chelsea shirt. He has been defensively good. He has been aerially good. He has put the right crosses into the box. His passing has been good. His positioning has been good. And for a player who is bound to be a centre-back, he has played so well as a right back. So well. And I think he deserves his praise. He deserves his plaudits. And it was very, very good to see Trevoh Chalobah today. Fully agreed. And I do understand that as well, Drain brother. I fully understand with that as well. I think you can give him 9, you can give him 8. I think all are very good ratings. And Trevoh Chalobah was just fantastic today. Coming on to the next one, that's 2 centre-backs. I think they did not do a lot of wrong, but also they made some errors on the goal. Now, they did not make a big error in goals, but you need to be aware of your surrounding. Like Thiago Silva, one of the best defenders in the world. I love Thiago Silva. Oh, Thiago Silva. But again, he was not aware of Awoniyi, and that was disappointing to see. And Madueke as well was not aware of Awoniyi, and that was disappointing to see. And today we conceded 2 poor goals. The first one, Mendy made a blunder, but there was no understanding between the centre-back and the goalkeeper. And the second goal, Thiago Silva and Madueke had no understanding who was going to mark Awoniyi. And again, that led to a goal, which was very, very disappointing to see. And both the players should still, for me, be playing together for the rest of the season. But overall, it was a bit disappointing for Thiago Silva Madueke because we needed this win and we could have strived on with a 2-1 victory, but that just wasn't to be. One good thing is if both Malo Gusto and Reece gets injured, we have our boy. Fully agreed. But hopefully, brother, that never happens. And Madueke 5 for me. He's tall, he's strong, he should be clearing the ball. Fully agreed. I just gave him 6 because I think on the ball he did play well. On the ball, Madueke was good. But overall, I was very disappointed with Madueke and Thiago Silva when it came on to who should be marking Awoniyi, because that is a schoolboy error we don't expect from 2 centre-backs who are so top quality. Coming on to the next player rating now, that is Lewis Hall. Please, people in the comment section, do like, please subscribe, and please support the channel and do give your player rating in the comment section below. Coming on to Lewis Hall, I was very angry with Super Frank in the last game that he brought on Cesar Azpi for Lewis Hall, and today Frank did play Lewis Hall, which is credit to Frank, and Lewis Hall was fabulous. Yes, defensively, the guy has still some mistakes. He's a raw, young guy. He still needs to develop. But Lewis Hall attackingly was so good to see. I think people remember where Lewis Hall nut-bagged the defender, and that was beautiful to see. He put a very good cross in for João Felix, where I do not blame João Felix. We needed a physical striker, a player like Osimhen, Tony, Mitrovic. They are putting that into the net, and Lewis Hall is getting a well-deserved assist. Lewis Hall was so good to see. He's such a talented young guy. He was playing so well under Graham Potter attackingly, and then he was dropped for no reason and was not in the side for 3.5 months, which is sad to see. Now he has come back. Cucurella might not play till the end of the season. Chilwell might not play till the end of the season. We need to play Lewis Hall and develop him for the end of the season because he's so good to watch. You can clearly see that this guy has a talent and he's a very good attacking player. We just need to refine a bit of defensive responsibility, a bit of positioning, a bit of tactical things, which I think Pochettino can do. And he's a very, very talented young guy. For me, he has to be a 7. He was very good today. He and Trevoh Chalobah made 2 very good fullbacks. and Lewis Hall had a very, very good game for me. 6, I will say defensive. I wasn't happy with him, although he isn't a left back. He's naturally a midfielder, but attacking wise, he was decent. So 6, fully agreed. But I've given him a 7 because attackingly, I love watching him. That is the way you want a left back to play. Cucurella, I love him. I will give Cucurella time, but Cucurella never provides this sort of stuff. And Louis Hall was so good to watch today. That's a proper left back, proper footballer to see. But Chelsea have some problems as well. Ian Matsen is another good talent we have got, and he's going to come back in the summer. So that is a thing to watch out, people. And now coming on to the DM, a player who has to play in the position forcefully because we have no one, Enzo Fernandez. And again, Enzo Fernandez played a good game for me. Again, the boy is playing in a position he should not be playing in. He's not a DM. And again, I think he had a good game today. He was good defensively. He made some very good passes. The Raheem Sterling chance earlier on in the game, which Raheem Sterling should be putting into the net, Enzo Fernandez made a fabulous pass. And Enzo Fernandez again was the only player when Nottingham Forest players were putting João Felix over, was the one that went there and fought with them. Every other was just trolling. And that's the mentality of the Chelsea dressing room. But Enzo Fernandez is a gangster that you want in your team. And Enzo Fernandez was so good to see today. He was fantastic for me at some points. Still, defensively, I still doubt him, but I do not blame him because he's not a DM. And again, for me, he deserves a 7 in this game. Please, people, do put your opinion in the comment section of what player rating do you want to give to Enzo and what's your opinion on Enzo Fernandez. For the rivals that are laughing, Enzo, failure of a signing, you will see it next season. What a damn player he is. The guy has to play out of position with a Romeo Lavia, with a proper DM. Enzo Fernandez will be unleashed next season, and you're going to see a very, very good player that we have just signed. Fantastic young player. Hall completed more crosses in a single match than Cuckoo did in his entire Chelsea career, and that's a damning. That is so damning, brother, and that is fully correct. Coming on to Conor Gallagher, again 6 for me. I do not blame him, to be honest. I think a lot of Chelsea fans want to scapegoat Conor Gallagher, but Conor Gallagher for me is still a player even we have failed. Conor Gallagher was very good at Crystal Palace. Now again, I will reiterate, Conor Gallagher is not Chelsea level, but what is Chelsea level? What is Chelsea level? Chelsea level is being 12th in the league, and Conor Gallagher is good enough to be in that. Conor Gallagher is a player that loves to play near the attacking areas. He's a number 8 in a 4-3-3 formation, but Thomas Tuchel played him as a number 6. Frank Lampard played him as an N'Golo Kante, and that is the mistakes of the manager. Conor Gallagher is still a player who will give everything for the shirt, and Conor Gallagher is still a player that gives a lot of pressing, and he's still a player who is very dangerous near the attacking areas. He's a fox in the box and can make good runs. So I think Conor Gallagher, again, attackingly was fine, but again, a player who showed that is not good enough when you want to compete for the titles, top 4, but a player who is good enough overall to be in the Chelsea side, which is right now, and a player that I think fans scapegoat too much, and he still has a lot to give. And with a proper manager like Mauricio Pochettino, we might see a better Conor Gallagher next season, and he will be staying at Chelsea, especially if Mason leaves, which I don't want to happen. I want Mason to stay, but it looks like he might be going. Coming on to the next one, that is Mateo Kovacic, and he deserves a 4. Till the time the guy was on the pitch, he was bad to see. He was not good to see, man. The guy could not make a forward pass. He could not even look bothered. I fully wish him well with his injury, and he gets back, he gets fully fit, but he just wasn't good today. He did not look bothered. He did not even try to complete a forward pass, and that is a sad, sad sight to see. A player I used to rep on this channel, a player I used to say deserves more praise, a player I used to say is a limited player, but a player who deserves more respect. But now I'm going to say very single-handedly, it doesn't look bothered. It's better we let him go. There are more better midfielders than Kovacic in the market. Thank you, Kovacic, for his services, but now it's time to go, and we have to move forward because the guy did not even look bothered today, and that was very disappointing to see. Gallagher will actually be good for Poch, considering both play intensely. Fully agreed. He will be very important for Pochettino. And Kovacic, for me, second number attacking pass, unbothered, no tackling, no passion. Fully agreed with that. And it was a very awful display, and that is why I've given him a 4. People, do give your play rating of Kovacic. What do you think should be? Derain brother says 2. What's your play rating? Because for me, he was so bad today, and I've been kind enough to even give him 4. And hopefully with the injury one, he gets fully fit, and I wish him the best. But in terms of performance, he was a shambles. Coming on to Noni Madueke, and today was Noni Madueke's one of disappointing performances. But even in this disappointing performance, he showed a lot of signs for the future. There is a very talented guy in Noni Madueke, a very, very good footballer in Noni Madueke, with proper development, with proper management, with proper structure, with a proper side. Noni Madueke is going to blast next season. But Noni Madueke today also showed that he still has a lot of weaknesses. I still think Noni Madueke does not track back, which is a big no-no. Noni Madueke for me still, he does so well when he dribble past 3 players, 4 players, but Noni sometimes makes a wrong decision, which is very understandable. He's a young guy, has fans. We need to give him time. We need to give him patience. And with a manager like Pochettino next season, who will develop him, who will improve him on the training ground, who will make him know that you have to pass in this situation, you have to shoot in this situation. Hopefully, Noni Madueke is much better next season. I will only say one thing: there is potential, there is talent, and this guy could be a very big thing for Chelsea Football Club in the future. But for that, we need the right manager, we need the right coach, we need a right structure, and this guy could explode at Chelsea. Noni Madueke is a very good young guy. He's such a talented guy, a player that makes me get me out of my seat and cheer him, because it's so good to see. Today, in so many situations, he dribbled past 2 players, 3 players, 2 players, 3 players, and that was good to see. But also, fans need to be patient, because defensively he does not track back, and still he has got some problems in decision making, where when he has to shoot he passes, and when he has to pass he shoots. These things can be improved on training ground, and with more experience, more matches, and hopefully Frank plays him against Manchester United, Manchester City, he can learn it the hard way about the Premier League, and next season under a proper manager like Pochettino, he will improve, and in 1 year, or especially max to max 2, he is going to explode at Chelsea Football Club. But today he was a bit iffy for me, and that is why I give him a 6. And Darren brother fully agrees with me. And people, do put your play in the comment section about Noni Madueke. Coming on to Raheem Sterling, Chelsea's man of the match today. He was fabulous, Raheem Sterling today. He deserves his praise. I was angry at Raheem Sterling for the first 40 minutes when he missed that chance of the Enzo pass. And Raheem Sterling in the first 30-40 minutes was losing the ball a lot. But the way the guy responded in the second half was so good to see. The guy was booed by the fans in the last game. He went on to get the assist for the João Felix goal. And today again, he came on. Chalobah made a very good cross and he scored a good goal. And after that, he scored a beauty. And even after scoring the 2 goals, Raheem Sterling kept on going, and he was a best player for the second half of the game. He was so good to see. And this is why, for me, Raheem Sterling deserves a 9 today. He was fabulous. One of his best displays in a Chelsea shirt, along with the Leicester match. And this was a fantastic match of Raheem Sterling. And I've always said on this channel, Raheem Sterling is not a world-class player, but he's a good enough player to play for Chelsea. And with a proper structure, with proper management, we can use Raheem Sterling next season. And Sterling, I will give 8. He scored 2 goals, but very frustrating for the first half. Fully agreed. But because for me, Darren brother scored 2 goals, I want to give him a 9 for this display. João Felix, again, the same old. He was very good at some spots, drawing some fouls from Nottingham Forest. He was bringing a bit of shit house into the game, which was needed from Chelsea. He was getting into the right positions. He was making some good passes. But again, as always, he was doing over shit house. He might have got a red card on the other day. Again, the end product was not there, which I don't blame him a lot, because Chelsea were putting a lot of crosses, which João Felix is not good enough to do. But there were so many instances where he was dribbling past 2 players, too many players, and he should be doing better. And again, João Felix he put a good display, but not top display. Coming on to Ruben Loftus-Cheek, and he came on the bench for injured Matej Kovacic, and he was fantastic. He was fabulous. The understanding he and Raheem Sterling had was very good to see. Loftus-Cheek was so good to see today, and a very, very fine display from Ruben Loftus-Cheek today. He was good for me today, Ruben Loftus-Cheek. He looked like the Ruben Loftus-Cheek I used to see in the Mauricio Sarri, physical on the ball, driving on with the ball, being very solid. Attackingly, he was frustrating, but made a very good pass to Raheem Sterling. And Ruben Loftus-Cheek today showed to Frank Lampard that whether Kovacic is a senior player or whatever, the guy doesn't look bothered, and Ruben Loftus-Cheek has to start till the end of the season. I've been telling for a long time, he's a good player in the pivot, and he's right now a better option than Kovacic. And Ruben Loftus-Cheek, for me, played a very, very good game today. For the first 20 minutes, I didn't even know Felix was playing until he tried a diving header. Fully agreed. And that's my frustration with João Felix as well. Coming on to the next player, Ziyech. I think I only gave Ziyech a 6 because in the end part of the game, he was making poor crosses. Like, my guy, why are you hitting it straight at the goalkeeper? That was my frustration. But I think Ziyech in the 20 minutes did much better in this match than Madueke. And this is why I gave him a 6. He did have an impact. He was good. But overall, again, at some points, it was frustrating. Overall, do I love to see Ziyech being brought on instead of Mudryk? No. I hate it. The guy doesn't want to be at Chelsea. We have to give young players chances and we have to move on. But again today, Hakim Ziyech came. He played a decent game. He came on against Bournemouth. He played a decent game. So I will give him the praise he deserves. But in the end part of the match today, he was making very poor crosses, which was really getting on my nerves. And that is the thing you should be doing better. Loftus-Cheek looks so solid for me. Fully agreed, brother. 7 for me as well. He was fantastic today for me. He was so good to see. And the last substitute that came today was Kai Havertz. And to be honest, he did not have much to lay fed on. He still, for me, hold the ball well. And I think this is why I'll give him a 6. So please, people who are watching, please, it doesn't take much. Do hit the like button. Please subscribe to the channel if you haven't. These all things mean a lot, people. It means a lot. Please, people. And on my final reaction for the match before I end the video, please do like. Please subscribe if you haven't, people. It means a lot. And big up to Raheem brother in the chat supporting the channel. And please like and subscribe if you haven't. My final notes on the match is, again, I came with hope. For me, it was important for Chelsea to build on the momentum from the last victory, go on a 2-match, 3-match winning streak, build some momentum before the match against Manchester City and Manchester United. But again, as always, we let ourselves down. And again, we do not win a game at Stamford Bridge under Super Frank. He has lost to Brighton. He has lost to Brentford. We lose draw another game. And we only have Newcastle left. Hopefully, these players grow a bit of bullocks. They play well in the last game against Newcastle and give Super Frank a parting gift with a victory at Stamford Bridge, because this is disappointing. On the match, we started well. Nottingham Forest scored a goal from an Edward Mendy blunder and a bad play from even centre-backs to not have an understanding with Edward Mendy. And after that, the team came back, they responded, but we weren't able to score. It looked like that sort of days where Chelsea won't come back, but then we scored a goal. Very good goal by Raheem Sterling, who missed a chance earlier in the first half. Trevor Chalobah was absolutely magnificent in the right back role. He was so good to see today. And then Raheem Sterling scored a magnificent second goal. Loftus-Cheek came on for injured Kovacic. Hopefully Kovacic gets well. He put a very, very good pass in, and Raheem Sterling slotted it so well. And after that, it looked like Chelsea might be winning a game. We might win a game from coming from behind. But as always, centre-backs again unaware of their surrounding. Awoniyi scores. We make him look like the best striker in the world. And Nottingham Forest get a draw. Still, Raheem Sterling was our most dangerous player. It looked good, but the goal never seemed like it will come. And in the end, we drew this game. And overall, it doesn't mean much. The season is already over. But if people think that going on bad momentum towards the next season is good, then you're kidding yourself. We need to end the season with pride, with dignity, develop some young players, and hopefully build on something at least for next season. What does Kai offer? Physical elements gets boarded. I think it does not offer anything, and we do not even know his position. Is he a better striker than Felix? Yes, but that doesn't mean he's good. Kai Havertz for me is still a proper number 10, but I think he's still a player who frustrates me. Sometimes he gives us everything, sometimes it doesn't give everything. And Havertz is a player for me who is a natural number 10, but a player who sometimes plays well, sometimes plays shy. And I think Chelsea don't have a proper structure for a number 10. I think overall, we might not find any offers for Havertz in the summer, but I think if we can get 60-70 million from him, I'll take him. I love Kai Havertz. I have always said he's a very talented player, but I will always say one thing. I don't even know which position he excels in. And that is the problem. On that note, people, I end the video. Thank you, Darren brother, for the support in the channel. Big up to Bhargav. Thank you so much, Darren bhai. And people who have joined, it means a lot. Do watch the video in back. Please like, please subscribe. It means a lot. Thank you all. Love to you all. And I'll always say one thing. 0 watching, 1 watching, 10 watching, 100 watching. I'll always be there for my Chelsea and football, and I'll keep making videos. Thank you. Wish you all the best. Thank you, everyone. And fully agreed, brother. And hopefully Broha comes back in the preseason. Thank you, Darren, brother. All the support means a lot. Big up to